Alright guys, so here's what we're doing today. Basically, I'm going to show you guys how to remove your steering knuckle. This is for an RX7, but it pretty much applies to just about any car. There might be slight differences, but this way you can kind of see how it works and how to get it done. Yeah, hope you enjoy.
Do you love coffee? Do you want to learn how to cut metal? Do you want to learn how to weld? Do you enjoy gratuitous ass shots? Do you love America? Well, this might just be the show for you.
Alright, so first things first, you gotta take off the caliper. On an RX7, you got 2 bolts holding the caliper in. Second step, get zip ties. I like to use 2 zip ties because it's nice and easy to hang this so we're not worried about damaging any of the brake lines. Basically, I like to just set it up on the A-arm.
Damn, son.
Nice and secure. Take your 2 bolts, put them back in the hole so you don't lose them. Save it for later. That way when you're going to put it back together, you're not searching around like, oh crap, what do I do with my parts? Boom, they're right where you need them. Second step, remove brake rotor. This might be a little difficult if there's rusted, anything like that. Take some penetrating lube, spray in there. I like to spray the bolt holes too, sometimes they get rusted. Mine is a little bit messed up because it's got the ARP studs and they're a little bit like bowed out, but they still work. It's just sometimes a pain in the ass. Now, I'm planning on replacing these rotors, so I'm going to bang the shit out of them. You may want to try just letting this sit. You're probably still going to bang the shit out of it depending on how much rust and where you live, but just know that this will probably fuck them up. Boom. Rotors up. Next step. Remove the wheel hub. Remove the cap covering the bolt. 24 fit. It's a little loose, but it'll do. It wasn't on there that tight. Take off the nut. And pull the assembly. Keep your bearing and everything in there for now. When we go to replace this later, we're going to repack these bearings. But for now, just keep it together. Get your cotter pin, your nut, and the bolt nut cover. Set it aside for now. Next step, remove dust cover. Bam. The next thing you want to do for sure is you want to get your ball joint loose, because that's going to be really hard to do if you want to do your shop, because it takes a lot to get this off. You're going to need to use some penetrating lube. A lot of these parts are usually fairly rusted, so get it good. 14 millimeter. $17 millimeter. These aren't too bad because I've just replaced them not too long ago, so they're not rusted on there or anything like that. Take your parts, put them back in the way you took them out. Make it a lot easier when it comes time. This way you won't lose the bolts, and you know exactly which way they go. It's just a little step might save you some headache down the line. Okay, now this part, this is where it gets a little tricky. By tricky, I mean grab your hammer. Bam. And there you have it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these, we're going to take all this stuff, put it in a bucket, and let it soak. Okay, so I'm going to take this, we're going to take this out. In here, just got some bearings and some old grease and whatnot. We're going to get all that out, clean it out real good, make sure that there's nothing left in there to basically like grind up or rub, or plus the grease that's in there looks like it's been worn out. It's very I don't know if you can see that, but it's very it's almost more like the consistency of oil and not grease. So we're gonna try to fix that. We've got a full synthetic we're gonna put in there, and hopefully that should fix the problem. Alright, so let's do this. Now I don't know if this is technically the right way to do this or not, but this is what we're gonna do. This is degreaser, trying to degrease what's in there, so let's go for it. Take one bearing. Works really well, it seems like. It's getting a lot of this crap off of here. So the only thing I'm concerned with is that it's going to damage that oil ring, which I sure as hell hope not, but we'll find out. See that? That's what the inside looks like. I don't know if you can see, let's see. Okay. So basically what it is a bunch of little rollers and they spin on this. That's what you have to pack the grease in there for, but look at that. Looks like a brand new part, right? See? You don't always have to buy new parts. Let's see if you can see inside there, and he looks a lot better. You can see there's a couple spots here, like see how that's all bent? That's not ideal. That's from whoever tried to take it off last time, or put it on, banged it too much with a hammer, or just went crazy. I don't know, maybe they were upset about something. In here it looks okay, it looks a little bit better. Still a little bit. Try to get that out, but for the most part it looks good. I might go at this with a wire brush, try to clean up a bit. Let that soak for a sec. Alright guys, so let's see. So before we get started, I want to show you basically the difference here in what we're doing. So this is the aftermarket control arm that we're putting on. And this is the stock one. Okay, now you could see obviously the size difference. But where the big change comes in is going to be the clearance that it gives you inside the control arm. So these two mounted in basically the same spot. That is the difference in clearance that it gives you. So this whole section here is cut out. So basically what it does, and it moves this forward so that way we have more room for the tire to turn in without hitting anything. So normally that's a huge problem. But now we don't have to worry about that. We'll be able to get a little bit more angle out of it. Stock spindle, which is this one. Basically it sits on there, and this is what turns your wheel. So this is basically where the normal connection would be for a just stock car. And then here's the aftermarket one. You notice how much closer that is by comparison? Now these obviously they're not lined up right on top of each other, but you know, it's about, you knock off, you know, an easy, probably an inch or so, just depends. What that does is it makes it so you get a lot quicker turn response, and you can also turn in a lot better. Whereas this one's stock, still works, but you know. And hey, if you guys know anybody that's interested in a unmodified set, hit me up, because these are just sitting in my garage. So we'll put these puppies on today, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, guys, time for the exciting part. 17 on that one for RX7. Depending on what you got, but this video should be able to be used for just about anything. So like, even if you don't have an RX7, the process is pretty similar on most vehicles. The reason you get these off now is because right now you got something to hold it and keep it from moving. Otherwise this thing would be a pain in the neck to get off. Bam. Go to your jack stand. Most jack stands you're able to take apart to pieces. Right? Take that open end there. Slide your socket on, and then boom, problem solved. Yeah, these adjustable wrenches, I like to call them adjusting wrenches, are awesome. Don't worry, these things are on here like ridiculous. So you don't have to be super strong to be able to do this. You just need enough leverage. Leverage comes from using that big cheater bar. Now you could go and buy a cheater bar and whatever. If you have the money for that, great. But if you're like me and you want to save a couple bucks, half of your jack stand, boom. Strong, doesn't break, does what it needs to, and you can get it off real easy. Sometimes you gotta think outside the box to get stuff done. Doesn't always work first time, every time. But there's 2 bolts over here under this flap. So let's see if we can move this out of the way. Use my genuine certified cheater bar. Oh, look at that. Too easy. That's why we put our arm there. Now we're gonna tighten this, but not super tight, just enough to thread it, nothing too crazy. We'll torque that down later. First, gotta make sure we get this set up correctly. So we're reusing the 2 bolts from before. So once you get these on here, you wanna make sure line them up, thread them in carefully. Just do each one, just get enough to get it in there, and then you can adjust and get it all torqued down after that. For right now, we're just threading them. Okay, now we'll torque. Wow, this is weird. They give a lot of random torque specs. They're like, oh, you can torque it to this, that'll be close. It's like, really? You remember how hard it was to get off, so. Boom. Now the one thing about this kit I don't like is the fact they didn't give me any torque specs for some of these things that they have. It's like there's this one thing in the back here, and I'm not sure what to torque it to, but we're gonna go by feel. Where's Big Bertha? lot of times people have trouble getting these on and off. What I like to do, I don't know if it's necessarily the correct thing, is I take a little bit of my grease, rub it on there. Bottom one, it's a little bit easier to get the top that way. Bottom one's the hardest one to get. If you do the top, then it's kind of harder to adjust and line it up properly. Do that, see how much easier that is. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Guys, next part, what you want to do is grease up your spindle. I've already got the bearing inside there, so now what I'm going to do is slide this puppy on. Alright, I'm just going to be real careful not to mess anything up. There's going to be a lot of excess. It's going to make like a suction almost kind of sound. It's normal. So what you're going to do is take this, and you want to line up that pin on the top groove of your spindle. It helps lock it in place, keep it from moving. Okay, push on there, take your nut, put a little bit of grease on there. Now what you gotta do is you set this to, I think it's 22 foot-pounds. Basically what that does is sets the bearings. Then you're gonna loosen it. There's supposed to be like a specialty tool you can use to do this, but I don't have it. So I'm gonna show you a little trick on that. Okay guys, so here's the trick. So you're supposed to use, it's like a pole kneader or something like that to tell you basically how many pounds of force it takes to rotate it. But I got a shortcut for that. What we're going to do is we're going to take a scale, and we're going to measure out so we get to 1 pound. Alright, so let's check the lock. And then what we'll do is we're going to add a wrench. Keep adding wrenches. Perfect, 1 pound. So then what we're going to do is, I'm going to take this, I'm going to, boom, boom. So I know that this is 1 pound, and then what I'm going to do is hang that on the wheel bearing and loosen it until it moves. And then what we're going to do is, we're going to loosen this nut until it starts spinning. Pretty good. Alright. Last step, put our castle bolt on there. And a pin. Okay guys, so here's the finished product installed in the vehicle. Honestly, if I had some smaller tires and wheels up front, I could get way more out of this. Yeah, not bad. I'll put a picture of the before and after, just so you can get an idea, see if it's worth it for you. But yeah, so that's the drift knuckle steering mod install. I'll put a link to the parts in the description. They're kind of pricey for the ones that I got.
you can go a lot cheaper. There's a lot of people that'll do it for a lot cheaper than what I paid. And you'll still get decent angle, honestly. It's just, I got a set of wheels and tires that are smaller, so it should fit a little bit better and I should be able to get a little bit more out of it. Yeah, because I think I have a 245 up front right now. Like, I think the stock size was a 205. So yeah, so it's a little too wide, but I put some thin ones on there, it'll be good to go. So yeah, if you like this video, smash a like. If you want to see more of this stuff, subscribe for more. And we'll be here in the next one. Look forward to seeing it. Austin's Miata, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on that. So and remember, keep drifting fun.